Welcome back to the channel, RacerX here, and today I thought I would weigh in on an article that was put out just yesterday from our buddies over at Mopar Insiders regarding the Charger Daytona Banshee. After all, it has been more than 3 years since Dodge introduced us to that car at Roadkill Nights. We have seen a few different versions of that car. Everybody has kind of just been waiting around to see when they're finally going to release it. Obviously, after 3 years, you would figure they would have done it by now. And this is something that I have known for a while. This is something that most of you guys have kind of hypothesized. But is the Banshee really coming out? Today, we'll talk about it. If you guys are brand new to the channel, please don't forget, hit subscribe. You can find that button over here. Off we go. Today's video sponsor are my friends over at Viofo. They just sent me something pretty epic. It's their newest dash cam product, their A329S 4K, tons of features. A329S has in-car and rear-facing cameras, and this is actually your front-facing camera, which gives you a 210-degree field of vision due to its fisheye lens in 4K quality. Not only will the A329S capture high-quality footage when you're driving, but also when you're not. For example, if you're parked in a lot somewhere and somebody comes out to tamper with your car, within 3 seconds of somebody approaching your car, the device will automatically start recording. And likewise, if it's detected a collision, it will also start recording within 2 seconds. And another cool feature about this is you can hot swap the SD card without ever turning the device off. One other quick item of note, this product features HDR night mode. No more struggling with your dash cam due to overexposure and low light conditions. This product gives you crystal clear vision even at night. Here's a quick look at that beautiful digital display in 4K. You get all 3 cameras, front and rear facing cameras, plus your in-car camera at 60 frames per second. The A329S captures all sorts of other metrics. I can't cover everything in this video, but you can see that it uses GPS to give you your real-time speed, which is right there on the head unit. You can even download one of their 4K videos in about 10 seconds, so a lot of functionality. I think we're all very aware of just how crazy the roads out there have become. Give yourself a little peace of mind. Grab one of these Viofo A329S 4K dash cams for yourself. You will not regret it. I will make it easy by pinning a link in the comments section down below. And on we go with the video. It seems crazy, but yes, it has been more than 3 years since Tim Kuniskis, the father of the Hellcat, took the stage at Roadkill Nights, and they showed us a multitude of different things. They teased a bunch of different special edition cars. Many of you guys might remember this if you follow the Dodge news. That's when we found out that they were going to come out with a Halo car, which we now know as the Demon 170. Many of you guys that follow my channel followed my Demon 170 content, my drag racing content. But they also gave us, the King Daytona and a bunch of other special edition cars. A lot of people said they were just expensive versions of what was already there with stickers on it. And to some extent, you would be right. They also introduced us to like a body in white and some other direct connection offerings. They showed us the Hornet, which is of course their compact SUV. We knew that they had an RT version, which is a little more powerful version, and the GT version, and we had different engines going in those. They showed us a lot of different stuff. We know the Hornet, of course, didn't do well at all on the market. And then the coup de grace was they brought out the Charger Daytona Banshee. And a lot of people said that when they rolled that car out, it basically sounded like someone stepping on a cat's tail. They said it sounded like the car from the movie The Wraith. A lot of people were very, very negative about that car. Some people didn't like the way it looked. The fact that they were coming out with an all-electric, all-wheel drive, super heavy, like muscle car just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And mind you, this was way before they introduced us to the 400-volt versions, the RT and the Scat Pack that's out there now. This was the 800-volt Bad Daddy, plaid competitor that everybody was kind of waiting on. I, for one, really love the interior of the new car. I've always said that I actually really like driving the Scat Pack now. A lot of people know that I'm not an EV person, but I will say it is a really fun car to drive. It's when you start getting into all the comparisons with, Tesla and Hummer and all the other stuff that's out there that maybe it doesn't stack up so favorably. But if you just take the car for itself, it actually is really, really fun. But here we are basically sitting in silence 3 years later, waiting on the Banshee, and still nowhere to be found. So here is the thing about the Charger Daytona, and I have mentioned this in multiple other videos because I know the design team that worked on the interior of this car. I know the design team that worked on the exterior of the car. I know just how hard they worked, how many old design cues they tried to build into the new car, everything they did with the suspension. I mean, they did a lot of stuff, a lot of R&D to try and make this car really, really cool. But my biggest thing with this car is it hits a really weird price point for a lot of people. I mean, when you're talking about a Scat Pack that can climb up into the $85,000 range pretty easily, that turns a lot of people off to pay 85 grand for a Scat Pack. Yes, it has more power than the outgoing 2023 model, but it doesn't make as much as a Hellcat. And a lot of people say, well, look, I can go buy a Hellcat for the same money. I can buy a used Hellcat for a heck of a lot less money. It's really like comparing apples to oranges. But I've always said the car hits a bit of a weird market segment, kind of one that isn't there, right? Because it doesn't appease the EV guys because it doesn't have autonomous driving and a lot of the other geeky stuff that EV guys would want. But it also doesn't appease the muscle car folks out there because, you know, it's all-wheel drive, it's electric, it doesn't have the sound that people crave, stuff like that. So it kind of makes it hard for a lot of people to get on board with electric muscle. So I completely get where a lot of the Mopar faithful are coming from by not liking this car. So what market segment were they really going after if the muscle car people don't like it, the EV car people don't like it, yet it's supposed to be a blend of both of those two things? Now, it is no secret that the Charger Daytona EV did not do well in the market, and Stellantis did a lot of different things to try and get these cars out the door to help the dealerships out. They gave a lot of special financing deals to employees. They gave a whole bunch of money off of MSRP. They gave special credits, obviously, for EVs. I mean, there are just a multitude of things that Stellantis tried to do to help out the dealerships to reduce inventory, but a lot of it simply didn't work. And as I mentioned, like I said, I really do like driving this car. It's just a really hard sell for a lot of the Mopar faithful. So I completely get it. So much so that in 2026, they completely discontinued the lower trim, the RT, and the Scat Pack version, the 670 odd horsepower EV version, is by special order only. And that's to hopefully kind of sell through a lot of the old inventory, stuff like that. But they know they're just not going to sell very many of those. So does it really make sense for Dodge to kind of follow through with the whole Banshee thing? Because here we are with a Scat Pack version that approaches $80,000, sometimes $85,000, depending on how you have it spec'd out. Imagine what the 800-volt system will actually run. So at $110,000 or $120,000, you're simply not going to have very many Mopar guys out there willing to cough up that kind of change to have an EV that would simply get annihilated by a much cheaper Tesla Model S Plaid. I mean, that is the reality of things. I mean, yes, maybe they could make this thing 11 or 1200 horsepower. I believe the 800-volt system probably could do it if they really push the limit with it. But does it really make sense, right? I mean, if you're only going to sell a handful of these, why even bother? I know we have the six-pack on the horizon. I feel like the company will do better with the six-pack. I feel like they did a pretty good job on the pricing of that car. I've already talked about how I feel like it's too heavy still, but you do get both all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, and you can actually select that. I mean, there are a lot of things about the six-pack that I really do like at a much lower price point, but I mean, $120,000, that was my estimate in terms of what the Banshee would really cost. It just doesn't make sense to produce that. And of course, the big news is that Stellantis is bringing the Hemi back in all of its glory. They did a complete 180. We know for 2026, the Ram 1500 will have the 5.7 Hemi back in it, despite the fact it makes less power than the Hurricane. A lot of people are just really wanting that 5.7 back.
We own it, we got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi, and it's saying, I'm back.
They've also talked about the 6.4 going in the 1500 before it was only available in the Power Wagon. So Ram is doing a lot of great things. We're talking about a more powerful, like red-eye version of the TRX. There's all sorts of stuff probably coming down the pipe. I'm thinking mostly for the 2027 model year and beyond. But the Hemis are going to make their way into the Charger as well. And I have it on very good authority that they are working on a new Halo car. And it is not an EV. It could be a hybrid, but it is not an EV. So does it really make sense to go ahead after all of this, right? All the negative publicity and all the just minutia out there, all the noise, to continue down that path with the Banshee and make that car at a big loss. In my estimation, that is exactly what that car would be, because there are just not going to be a lot of people lining up to buy that car. And that was what that Mopar Insider's article was all about. It was basically just saying, hey, look, we have it on good authority that they're not going to make the Banshee. We kind of already knew that. This kind of goes into the same category as the Hornet GLH, which they also showed us at Roadkill Nights. After 3 years, no Hornet GLH. They said it was going to be a direct connection offering. I talked to the guys at Direct Connection, nothing, right? Just crickets on the GLH. But as we know, the Hornet is kind of in the same boat. The Hornet sales were awful. Who knows how long the Hornet is actually going to stick around? And does it make sense to put a high-performance version of that car out, being that it didn't do well on the market either? Probably not. So that is why we're not hearing anything about the GLH. And of course, now we've basically all but confirmed the fact that the Banshee is toast. And I fully expect that we will not hear anything more about the Banshee. They may come out with an official statement later saying, hey, look, guys, we're always trying to gauge the market. We're trying to do what makes sense for our customers. And the Banshee at this juncture doesn't make sense, and most of the Mopar people out there would heavily agree for the reasons that I've listed. Anyway, guys, if I'm really honest with you, I was looking forward to driving the Banshee just to see how it stacked up against cars like the Plaid and some of the other stuff that's out there, the Lucid, and some of the other just missile rocket ship EVs that are out there. I am a performance guy through and through. If it's fast and fun, I will drive the crap out of it. Doesn't mean I would have bought one for 110 or 120 or whatever these things would have cost, but it doesn't surprise me in the least to see them go away from this car because, as I mentioned, it just doesn't make sense. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.